met with actors, and I was just totally blown away by this world of acting and of filmmaking that I didn't recover from it. Went back to engineering, and I was just like, man.
It was like a hole.
Yes. I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want to be here. I wanted to be in film, in entertainment. And I just never recovered from that bug. Yes, I had done it on the side, but this, for me, I wanted to do it for the rest of my life.
Today on Sipping with Tia, I am super excited because we have none other than an actor that went from maybe solving chemical equations to probably doing something that I call emotional chemistry on screen. He went from being on the lab to being on your TVs. He has really changed the Nollywood game. He is a method actor, is really what I call him. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a thinker, very intentional actor. We have today none other than the one and only Daniel Etim.
Make we take them slow, no need to rush now. Oh, sipping with Tia, sipping with Tia. Coffee, tea, or wine, love, they get sweeter. Sipping with Tia, sipping with Tia. Hard for her hand, it is sweet like sugar.
I'm super excited.
How you doing, girl?
You swole.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. You look amazing yourself.
Thank you. So today I'm excited. I don't know what you like.
I like everything.
So I kind of made a plethora.
Wow. I can see that.
I have this is just for color. Let me just be real. I have short ribs. I have grits and shrimp.
Nice.
This is like a Texan Southern favorite.
Okay.
I hope you're all about that.
Yeah.
Yum,
I'm
yum.
all about everything. It looks so good. Like,
We have fish.
wow.
We have some drinks.
Uh-huh.
I hope you're a tea guy.
Yes.
Because what I have brewed,
Wow. Okay.
guys,
Okay.
guys, I brewed some black tea. Wow. Because I really want to get into it. Really get into it. Of course, we have salad just so we can be like, oh, we're healthy. But then, of course, are you a sweet tooth?
Yes, I am. I think as is in cheesecake goes.
Yeah. So we're going to really get into it. And then because it's Texas, we like to have our fun, beautiful, pretty drinks. We have something for you for that.
Okay.
Are you a tea guy?
Yes, I am.
Huh?
You're going to give me some tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to give us some tea.
Am I?
Okay. So tell me, are you a cook? You like to cook?
I love to cook. I'm in Calabar, man. We do know our way around the kitchen.
Yeah. Are you more cook or critique kind of cook?
I would say more cook. I don't necessarily like to critique food. I like to put food together. I like to feed people stuff.
You like to feed people. So if you were gonna do, say, a romantic date, and they said, "Oh, let's do something fun," we're not gonna order, or you like to order in, or you will make something at home.
I would make something home.
What would you make?
Like
something that people say you don't miss it. Like every time you do this, you never miss.
The thing that I do that people say I never miss is beans, but I don't think I want to do that for a romantic date. I'm trying to eat beans, but I'll probably make pasta. Some mint sauce and
what kind of protein are you thinking? Sexy protein.
Fish.
Fish is sexy. I think fish is sexy.
Yeah.
You would do that? Okay.
Put it on a skewer and, roast it over an open flame. Put some heat into it. This is some heat. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you guys heard it. It's going to be open flame, roasted,
skewered.
skewered.
You put some spice in it, throw some hot peppers, chili peppers.
I feel like are we still talking about food? Are we still talking about food?
Yes, we are, ma'am.
Okay.
Mhm.
So obviously, you guys work long hours on
Yes,
set.
yes, we do.
What is that thing that you feel like you have to have on set? Like as far as food goes.
Listen, I love I try to stay healthy. So I love like and I do have a sweet tooth and I love to snack on things. I don't necessarily like food. So I love
Okay. So
I
you're
like
a picker.
Yeah.
You're a picker.
So
Yeah.
I love nuts. I gotta have nuts.
But does this happen from being a picker or is this
That's why you have to that's why I try to be deliberate. So when I'm snacking, I do healthy snacks. I do like nuts. I do
nuts.
Yeah.
He said nuts.
These nuts.
He said nuts.
Yeah, and then fruits as
Okay.
well, dried fruits, fresh fruits. I do a lot of those.
Papayas.
Bananas.
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. I already know how this is gonna go. I'm super excited.
What are you getting at?
I don't know. I am so excited. I really want to get in your head. Okay. I really want to be intentional. We have a rule here. We say we're gonna ask questions. We're gonna be respectful. But if there's something you can't answer, you get to skip.
Right. Okay.
But I hope you don't skip. Because I want you to give us very unfiltered conversation.
Well, we're going to have to see about that.
We're going to see about that. All right. So I'll pour a little bit of black tea.
Okay.
Okay. And look at that. That is
nice.
Isn't that? You can even see the steam coming out of this. Yeah. Steamy, huh? For that steamy conversation. And what I'm going to also do is I'm going to serve you a little bit of some shrimp and grits.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you think.
All right.
Because sometimes, I feel like I know what I'm doing here, but you never know. I'm all about making sure that people feel good about the food.
Nice.
So we'll do a little bit here. And then you tell me exactly what you think.
Okay.
All right. There you go. This is just a small piece.
Okay.
I want you to taste it and savor it, really.
Okay, let's go.
Can you savor? So tell me this before you choke on this.
Ooh, smells nice.
Who's the better cook, you or your wife? Don't get in trouble.
I wouldn't say me. But I don't cook often, so even I wouldn't know. But I would say me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here, guys. Yeah? Yeah. What are you getting?
Good.
Very good. Very good.
Good. I like it. Very
it's creamy.
Yeah, very creamy. Very
rich, decadent.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very textured. Yeah. Very crunchy as well.
Okay. So this is like a staple for us here in Southern Texas or whatever. But I'm super excited. I really want to get comfortable. We are going to get comfortable. We're going to sit on our green couch while he's like chomping down on the shrimp and grits. We'll be moving to our couch. We'll sit down. We'll have some great conversations. I always say, take your wigs off, but hey, we have down here. He has no wigs. So we'll get comfortable and we'll move to our green couch. See you guys on the green couch.
All right.
So we have the none other than Nollywood, I call a method actor, Daniel Etim.
Hey.
You're on Sipping with Tia. How do you feel about that?
I'm good. It feels
great.
Good? I've been sipping all day.
So I have some questions. As I said, if you don't feel like answering, you can sip to skip. But we're hoping we're going to have less of that.
For sure.
All right. So tell me a little bit. We have different things here. We try to keep it light. We try to keep it respectful. So tell me this. You're a husband. You're a father. You're a method actor, as I call. What role is the most challenging? Ooh.
What role?
Yeah.
You mean the roles I have done, or in what role would I undertake that would be most challenging?
No, being a dad, being a husband, being an actor. Was that a tough one?
Well, I think being a dad is
Being
the
a
most
dad.
yes, is the most challenging.
Yeah.
Because kids will be kids, and you really can't explain your way through with kids.
Yeah.
You know, you have to just be there, be present, and be a great dad.
Course.
For being a husband, you can explain your way through it. You know, you can explain to your wife why this is that, and because she's an adult, and because she loves you, she'll understand.
Right.
Right. And for work is work. You know, you're there mainly because it pays the bills. You know, and you have to just be there and deal with it.
Yeah.
But kids are with kids, it's a bit delicate. You know, first of all, they need your presence, you know, and they need you to be there with them. They need you to be responsible. They need you to project the best. When I see my kids, I immediately want to project the best version of me. And projecting that best version of me requires a level of growth that sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm willing to give, I'm able to give, but I have to.
Yeah.
Every time I see my kids, I immediately want to project the best version of myself.
Right.
Because in doing that, they look at you and they become that person.
Right.
You know, because for kids, what they look at, they become, you know. So it's quite scary for me every time I'm with my kids, every time I think about my kids, you know, and because I'm always at work, it becomes challenging because and they have, you know, they go to bed at 7:30. They wake up at 6 in the morning.
7:30.
Yeah,
Bedtime is 7:30.
for my kids. Yeah, on when they have on school days.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know, within that short window, I have to now try and be present in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, so it's quite challenging for me, but you know, I've together with my wife weathered the storm and braced myself up for the challenge.
That's great. That's great. I didn't expect that response. I'll be honest with you, but I'm really glad with the direction you took it, because kids are extremely delicate and you impact their lives in more ways than you can even think of. So it's important that you're very, very, very focused, very intentional when you're parenting, so to speak. So I know that you went to school as a chemical engineer. What was the light bulb moment that made you shift from, you know, being an engineer to a Nollywood actor?
And that's a long story.
It's a long story.
I'll try and make it brief.
Okay.
I've always acted.
Okay.
You know, from primary school to secondary school, I somehow always was in drama groups and drama clubs, and I always acted, right? But for some reason, I found my way in science class in secondary school, in high school, because I was a clever kid. I was intelligent. So my teachers just imagined that, you know, with that brain of yours, you should be in science class. And I found myself in engineering in uni. But I always, like I said, acted on the side and always was fascinated with the world of storytelling. And then one day, a family friend of mine who was a filmmaker, came to me and said, you know what, Daniel, do you want to come with me to a movie set, to a Nollywood movie set? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I tagged along with him, and he took me to different sets because he was trying to cast for his new film, right? So I went with him, and we had a day. I had a day with him where we just visited Nollywood sets.
Oh.
And met with actors, and I was just totally blown away by this world of acting and of filmmaking that I didn't recover from it.
Wow.
You know, I went back to engineering, and I was just like, man.
It was like a hole.
Yes. I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. You know, I don't want to be here.
Wow.
I wanted to be in
Film, in
entertainment. And I just never recovered from that bug, you know. And yes, I had done it on the side, but this, for me, I wanted to do it for the rest of my life.
Wow.
You know, and that just haunted me until I quit engineering. It never left me, you know. When I was attending lectures, I'd just be like this
This is
isn't where,
something.
yeah, this isn't where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
This
you
isn't
you
me.
had a craving for
Yes,
it.
this
Yeah.
isn't me. This isn't me. This is not my life, you know? And at that time in uni, I wanted to quit and go start over again. And my parents thought I was crazy. And they came to me and told me, dude, you just finish, you know, they had this huge family meeting. And they were like, you know, Daniel, just try and finish first and then
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to do. You know, so I struggled, but I did finish. And here I am today.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Your first film, do you remember it? First film.
Listen, I think my first ever film was in uni.
Huh.
We had this. I was in fellowship, right? This church, campus church or campus fellowship, Christian fellowship, and we came together to make a film. And yeah, and I think that was my first film, first ever time I heard the cameras roll, and I was
Action.
actually on set, and someone yelled action. I was a student, and we had traveled to somewhere in Ilorin to film this evangelical film, you know, faith-based film that turned out, I think the name was Dangerous Guests. You know, one of those like Mount Zion type film. Yeah, I was in one of those. That was my first ever film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it feel when someone yelled action? Like, was
You,
there
you feel a
like,
rush, you know.
was a
I mean,
rush?
yeah, I've been on stage before, but just that being on a live set, there's
Yeah.
something about it. Like there's a rush that comes from being on stage and performing and all of that, but being on a live set was kind of different, you know.
Yeah.
It was just the camera was this close to you and you had to feel every strand of emotion
Yeah.
and allow it just course through your veins, you know, because and then when you let it out in a very subtle form because the camera is just so close to you, you know, and you have to be
It felt comfortable.
it felt very it felt very surreal because I was living it. So it wasn't something you had to project. It was something you had to just keep and be comfortable with and just breathe, you know, through your being and just let it go subtly. You know, my first days, I'm sure I was very rough around the edges. You know, I don't know if, you know, someone will have a copy of that film. It'd be interesting to see how how I performed, you know, but yeah.
You seem like someone that really takes pride in their craft.
Uh-huh.
Is that a misconception?
No, absolutely not. Listen,
I feel like you do take pride in your craft.
very much so. I'm one of those that believe in the power of storytelling. I like you mentioned, I quit engineering, I quit oil and gas because I was working in the oil and gas industry. I quit all of
Yes.
that because I believe in the power of storytelling to just change lives and impact culture. You know, there's a level of impact that storytelling has, that I believe storytelling has to shape the minds of people that I don't believe engineering could give me, you
Right.
know, and yeah, so it's, for me, it's it's a thing of immense pride that I can shape the minds of young people. I can shape culture. I can, you know, tell stories that will make people cry and laugh and think of their lives, you know, rather than, you know, be somewhere on an oil platform, on a rig somewhere drilling oil and, you know, making money.
Yeah. So you're in a place you feel like you were destined to be. You know, purposeful
Absolutely.
space. For you.
Absolutely. I think for me, it's a calling to be here and to send a message out there, you know, a message of hope, a message of renewal, a message of awakening to a generation of people.
Yeah.
I think with every story I tell, there has to be a lesson. There has to be something that I'm saying with the gift of storytelling.
I think it's such a big deal, you know, what you do. I'm sure you know this, but I have
Yeah.
to say it. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight on your shoulders because you get to be in a lot of people's living room. you know, whether they know it or not, whether they've invited you or not, you're in their space and you have a platform to really make an impactful statement and change lives, really. So I honestly think it's such a big deal. And I hope that you realize how big of a deal that is, where what you portray, whether it's through film or through your storytelling or projects that you do, that you have a way of changing a lot of people's lives.
Absolutely. I mean,
and impacting them, really.
It's a thing that makes me feel humble.
Yeah.
The weight of responsibility on my shoulders. I don't know how other people take it or how my colleagues take it, but for me, it's a thing that just humbles me. When people think, you get heady from the love and attention you get from the fans. For me, it strikes differently.
You do get a lot of attention.
Yeah. I do know that, especially from the female folk.
Yeah.
And for me, it doesn't make me go heady or, doesn't make me feel lightheaded or
does it make you feel
puff
good?
my shoulder.
Does it make you feel good?
It does make me feel good because I'm
Okay.
human, right?
Yeah, of
and it makes you feel good that people love your work and people want your work and people just appreciate the effort you put into your work.
Sometimes it's not work though. Sometimes they love you.
Yeah, but
How does that make you feel though?
to be honest,
How do you handle the
it's a huge weight of responsibility on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I feel responsible for all these
emotions?
that people are feeling because that's not my intention. My
Some
intention.
people feel like you're their husband.
Yeah, I know that.
They're like, Daniel is my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel like they've seen you in their dreams and stuff.
I know. I get that, on social media where people say, you're my husband, you just don't know it yet. I'm like,
Yeah, you have a ring.
yeah. And I know enough to know that it's not just for actors. Once you're in the public eye,
Right.
once you're a public persona and you're projected, there's something that does to people. And it happens to me too. It's not just because I'm an actor.
Right.
It happens to me when there's someone in the public eye and, the person is projected, the image of this person is projected. There's something it does to you when you look up at someone. It endears the person to you and you just ascribe like honor and love and affection to this persona, and I know enough to know that it's very fleeting. So
That is
you don't
true.
let it get to you because the same people who love you and who,
They'll
calling
throw
you your
you under the
husband,
bus.
you just make one wrong move.
That is true.
You make one wrong move and they either, some would forgive you, like, they love you enough to forgive
Yeah.
you, but a lot of it can turn overnight and
Yeah.
can turn to like angst and like, hate and,
Hate.
so the line is very, very thin. And I've seen that, my wife says something on social media and people go like, oh, who cares about him? He's not even good looking. Who does he think he is? Does he think it's Denzel? So what does Denzel feel? I wonder what Denzel's wife will be thinking, when they say all these things. I'm like, gosh,
That is so funny.
So yeah, so it's interesting. And
Yeah.
for people in the public space, it becomes a question of, do you just live your life or do you live your life to please people? And for me, I've just learned you just have to live your life. People
Absolutely.
would think what they want to think. People would throw affection or put affection on or cast affection on whomever. You just be you.
Yeah. How do you find balance though? Because it can be crazy.
Yeah, I know that.
And when I say balance, like, let me get specific. Balance in the sense that, you're trying to make, they say this thing, happy wife, happy life, there is that, and there's also you as a person, trying to make sure that you're still centered. You still have the appeal that your fans want, because there is that piece too. It's kind of like you're juggling different pieces. What is that thing that you probably do, whether it's meditation or whether it's yoga? I don't know what you're into.
Yeah. So I try to, So I try to have different personas. What I project to the public is different from who I am really. Who I am really, and who I show. This person I bring home to the kids and the wife is very different from
The public.
from what people see on screen. And and you probably meet that person away from the red carpet, away from the stage, away from the lenses of the cameras. If you meet me on the streets, you probably meet a very quiet, very humble, very shy person.
Yeah?
Yes.
Interesting.
I'm a homebody. I just like to chill with my family.
Yeah.
If you meet me with my friends, the energy might be different because we're like, yo, 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 yo. But just meet me alone or meet me with my family and it's different. So I try to preserve that. I try to preserve that part of me who just wants to chill and be laid back.
Yeah.
And, be vulnerable and just, relax. Yeah. So that part of me, I preserve, I protect for my family.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that makes sense. Absolutely. Because I think there are things that are untouched or sacred or however we want to think about it.
Absolutely. What I do as well is I pray. Yes, I do pray a lot. And I find that very... I find that grounds me a lot, it centers me, helps me focus on what's important, because all of this is fleeting, the fame, the fortune, the glitz and the glam, the lights, the cameras, all of that is just, it's fleeting. It's a farce, what's real is spirit, so I try and stay there.
You're very spiritual.
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah.
So I try to find that center because trust me, when you go out there, there's a lot of stuff pulling at you, tugging at you. And when all of that is said and done, you want to come back to a space where you can find something that's real.
Yeah.
You can hit on your sides and be like, okay, this is real. I'm going to stay here.
Got to pinch yourself to make sure.
Yeah, that's what prayer does for me.
That's good. So you're a man of faith.
Yes, I am.
So, I've looked, I searched. You are a man that's very intentional when it comes to your craft, which is as an actor, as a filmmaker. You really exemplify yourself in making sure that you have honed that craft. How do you kind of prepare into your roles? Is there any kind of... Like the night before, are you like chanting and doing like are you doing like a happy dance?
Hey, yeah.
Are you doing a chant? Or are you doing like a happy dance, like a little wiggle happy dance? What does Daniel do?
Wiggle, pum, pum.
What do you do before you're like, okay, I'm filming tomorrow, we're starting. What do you do to get yourself in that mood?
I think there's something that helps me, right? I'm an empath. Yeah, so when I get to meet all these different characters, I connect pretty fast. I just really connect with people and their stories. Away from acting, if I just listen to you talk, I can connect with you easily. So it helps me with my craft because I'm reading the lines, I'm reading the stories, and I'm just connecting with these people.
The character.
Yes, and so that helps me a lot to just get in there.
Into that person.
And so I read the lines and try and pull out, experiences in my life that helps me find a meeting point, an intersection. With this person, have I been heartbroken before?
So you try to personalize it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Have I been duped before? Have I broken someone's heart before? Have I cheated on someone before?
Ooh.
Have I hit someone before? So these are meeting points where I can find a personal connection with the characters. If I don't find, can I find something close to it? Do I know of someone who's been there before? So, these are the areas that I try and weave, my personal experiences into the stories that I'm reading, and form like a tapestry of experience and connections with the story. And so that's what you ride on as an actor. It's like a wave that you ride and just become this person.
I love that. I really do. I love how you say you really try to dig to somewhere. You go personal, whether it's your personal journey or somebody else's journey. So that really helps you emulate or make that character more personal, so to speak. So I have I have some kind of a follow-up question because you brought up some things, but I don't know if I want to even go into it just yet. You know, when you're taking a role, is there any role that you've kind of said, you know, you've played the role, you've embodied the role, and quite frankly, on a side note, I heard somewhere that if you have a character that their name is Daniel, that kind of resonates with you different. Is that something that you kind of take like, oh, this person's character is Daniel, and you share the same name, and you're probably trying to give extra because it becomes even more personal. Does that hold water?
Not really. I mean, if the person shares, if I'm a namesake with a character that I'm playing, it's awkward for me.
It is
if
awkward.
Anything, it's kind of awkward because, you know, I know I'm not this person, but I'm trying to be this person. And if this person is my namesake, then I'm just like, is this me?
Weird.
Yeah,
it's
like, is
weird.
this me? Is this not me? You know, it's just something I have to deal with quickly. You know, but
do you take it home? Do you take your characters home?
I try not to.
But it sometimes seeps through your life, doesn't it?
Does. Yeah, it does. Sometimes.
Because I think as a human, you know.
Yeah, it does sometimes,
especially if you're on set.
Especially when you go deep.
Yeah.
Sometimes the industry doesn't afford us that level of depth, but there's some characters that you play and some stories that
you take it home.
Yeah, it sinks really deep, and you know, because you're on set and you have to go home the next day and come back, so you just carry with you. You know, it feels like something that sits in your stomach, and you have to just carry it, and you know, and when the project is done, you take time to, you know, let it go, exorcise yourself. Yeah.
What do? Do you go like rave and kind of purge?
I mean, it would depend. It would depend, but I just try and do something totally different from acting. Totally different. You know,
travel maybe.
Traveling helps. Spending time with family helps. Just, you know, being around my kids, being around my family, not thinking about work helps.
That helps. So, is there a character that you've played? You know the scenes, you know the stories, the storyline, that you have to kind of give your wife a heads up, say, hey, be prepared. Yeah? Are there some that you're like, hey, be prepared when you see this?
Yeah.
Just kind of like a reassuring.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens? What is that conversation like? Is it like, don't get in your head?
Yeah, I'm like, gosh, babe, let me just tell you now, folks, this role that I played. And you know what's funny? Most of those roles that I've played have been female directors.
Is that interesting? Yes. Huh.
They have been female directors. So because male directors want to be careful because they already understand the rules of engagement. So they want to be careful. They want to be like, okay, you know, they want to protect, you know, the actors, but females, they push. Yeah, they push you. They're like, get in there. They're like, get in there. Dude, get in there. And I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yes, get in there. You know, so with those ones,
you've had to have like a side conversation.
Yeah, especially when I've seen the work afterwards. I'll just go back home and be like, so.
This happened.
Yeah, what happened was.
what had happened was.
Yeah.
That is too funny. And how does she usually take it? She's pretty like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. She's always a good sport.
Good sport.
She loves me, and she's one of my biggest, if not my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
And she just wants to protect the brand all the time. So what she looks out for mainly is, you know, is the home front protected? Is your family protected? Is your family covered? Fine. Is your career covered? Fine. Then let's go.
Let's run.
Yeah, let's run.
That's your ride or die?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. 100%.
If you had to do it again?
Absolutely. I don't think, you know, it's interesting because, you know, thinking about it again, I'm a handful, you know.
I'm
a handful. And I don't think there are many people who can handle me. My wife has been ordained by God to handle me.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm thankful. Really thankful.
Yeah. Thankful. Do you think that acting, being an actor, has shaped who you are as Daniel?
That's such a good question. I mean, it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation.
What came first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel came first, right? But
Okay.
then, yes, I do believe acting has shaped who I'm becoming.
Becoming.
Yeah, who I'm becoming.
So there's still more.
Yes, because acting just helps you be more vulnerable, more in touch with who you are,
Okay.
because you connect with all these different stories. And when you meet people in life, when you actually meet people, you can you respect their process, respect what they're
Yeah.
going through, respect their journeys, because you've been there through
Yeah.
the work. So you don't easily judge people because you've been there. You understand? Because to play
Absolutely.
a character, you cannot judge the character. Like to play a thief, to play a murderer, you have to get to that point and
Yeah.
find motivations for why you're that person.
You gotta
so
dig.
that in life,
Yeah.
when you eventually meet such people, you just get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get it.
I mean, you're a pleasure. I honestly feel like I could talk to you literally all day. So we have this thing here. We call it kind of like a rapid fire. I want you to answer this. Don't think about it. I know you're a thinker, First thing that comes to your head. First thing. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
You want to sip first? Make sure. So, how does it feel putting your lips on people?
Awkward.
Always awkward?
Always awkward.
Best kisser on screen.
That's such a good question. I gotta remember all the many people I've kissed.
I could
And
throw
there
names.
are a lot of them.
There have been a lot.
There's so many of them.
Okay.
I'm going through files.
You want me to throw some names?
Sure.
Bimbo.
Great kisser.
Great kisser.
Great,
Ekama.
great kisser.
Oh, okay. So Bimbo.
Yeah.
Uche. You've done a screen kiss with her. I know that. Uche Montana.
Man, really good kisser, hey?
Yeah.
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 Are you like I'm gonna go personal here. Leave my bottom lips or it's okay?
It would depend. So first of all, right, because I have such personal relationship with these people,
Of course.
and the relationships differ.
Yeah.
Like there's some relationships that I have, like Bimbo and I are like literally siblings. We're like, we go at each other all the time. So we're
kissing
really
is-
free.
Yeah.
We're really free with each other, right?
Yeah.
We talk about our
Every-
spouses. We like go in and out. Like so we're free. So Bimbo and I can actually kiss and be chilled about it.
Yeah.
Even though we have partners, even though like we understand that we have boundaries, but within that boundary, within that space,
Yeah.
we can be ourselves
Okay.
and engage, right?
And be true to the
But
character.
there are other people that, for example, an Ekama, for example.
Yeah.
I love Ekama, but my relationship with her, and she goes at me with what I'm about to say, and she hates it, but it is what it is. My relationship with her was so close. It feels like I'm her. It feels like she's my baby sister.
Oh God.
I promise you. And I love her.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, we get into it and the chemistry is real and palpable.
Yeah.
But in my head, I have to fight against the fact that, I'm literally kissing my baby sister. But I have to shut that down. Right? I have to shut that down and make it believable and make it feel enjoyable.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you tackle with, right? You're kissing other people and, for example...
So who would you say that you don't have to be in your headspace as much? You just go with it because your relationship is not too close, but it's close enough that you're comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So who would you say?
Most of my colleagues are that way. Most of my colleagues.
Okay.
So you can name 5 top Nollywood actresses that are probably what you would call my contemporaries or, leading ladies that I've been with or acted with that, we're close but not that close. So it's a situation where
it's not as awkward.
there's mutual respect. There is love and affection for each other in terms of like we're cool, you know, and we can create that chemistry and make it believable.
I
You know,
like
so
that.
that's it. That's it. It's,
like
there's
that.
a mutual respect. There's love and affection platonically that we can build upon and make it look you know, real.
Really
Yeah.
make it look real. How about
That's
that?
it. That's it.
I got something else.
Talk to me.
FBB. What comes first? Okay, I'll break it down.
Okay.
Face, boobs, butt. What is it for you if you had to put them in a order?
In that order, it will be butt,
Okay,
face, and boobs.
boobs comes last.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I do like proportionality, you know. But
You can't be like just completely no boobs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you have to have good balance.
yeah. For
All
me,
right.
it's always about the balance.
All right. Do you remember your first awkward moment post a sex scene?
Yeah.
You do?
I don't. Yeah. My first awkward moment post sex scene, I was in film school, and I had this sex scene with this lady, and it was just so awkward, man, because we were both like just younglings and we're still trying to just figure our way around this thing, and we're under the covers, and gosh, I got like, you know,
You got excited?
yeah, I got excited, she got excited as well. We're like, oh
God.
man, what are we doing? You know,
Okay.
yeah, it was awkward for
Do you
both
have
of us.
those moments often?
Oh no.
Oh, so you're a pro now.
Yeah, because like
You can keep the emotions
you're
in
doing
check.
this thing over and over again. The people around you, it now becomes the work is now to get yourself excited.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're dead, you know. So now it's to make yourself alive.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
and make it real and make it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're getting yourself. Before you used to be like to keep yourself down, like
Kinda
okay,
gray.
down boy. But now it's like, okay, come up, man. Like,
Yeah.
be alive. Like, get in there. Like, put your body into it. Like, where are the juices? Yeah.
Because you've gotten so used to it.
Yeah.
I guess those are the industry mishaps, I
Yeah.
guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Any new projects that you have coming up?
Oh, a lot. I just made a film called The Herd.
The Herd.
Directed and produced. It's a great storytelling,
Yeah.
great acting. I can't wait for you all to see it.
Where's that going?
Well, fingers crossed. We'll let you all know.
Okay.
next time.
All right. You're not ready to share yet?
No, not
No.
yet. Not yet.
Anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, my desire is to do more storytelling,
Okay.
and less acting. Control the narrative pretty much.
I love that.
Yeah. Got lots of collaborations coming up soon.
Okay.
Multi-choice. I belong to this group of like 5 exceptional male actors called Sync.
Sync.
Myself, F.I. Wara, Kunle Remy, Mawuli Gavor. And together we just want to create great work
Yeah.
and push mental health for men. And together we have this project we have coming up. Yeah, so there's a lot of exciting
Yeah.
things coming up,
I think
that you need to look out for.
Yeah, I think I'm so glad you guys are doing that. You know, I don't even know the full gist of it, but happy to really learn more about that, because I think mental health as a general, it's not something that we Africans really gravitate towards
Yeah.
or respond well to. It's kind of shunned,
Yeah.
if I could even say that. So that is, especially for men, that's such a big deal. So kudos to doing that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm very excited to having you here.
Thank you.
When it's all said and done, I have one thing to ask. What legacy do you want to leave to your daughters? I know you're a girl dad. And what legacy would you want to leave to your kids? As a storyteller.
I look at my kids and they're so young, so innocent, so beautiful. And it breaks my heart because life can be very hard. Life can be very unforgiving. And you've created this beautiful human, co-created this beautiful human, and you've set them loose in the world.
And you want to
they don't
protect
know
them.
the half of exactly. They don't know the half of how the world works, and they're just loving life and just like with wide eyes and just like, "Ee," and I'm just like, imagine when you get your first heartbreak. Imagine when you get your first disappointment. You know, and
You feel like you can
I
have
want
those
them
kind
to,
of.
yeah, and I just want them to know that I've lived a life of many disappointments, many heartbreaks, still many victories,
Yeah.
many miracles, many breathtaking moments. So, in the face of life and life's difficulties, triumph comes with pain. And to understand that, irrespective of the pain and the heartbreak, you can still win, you can still triumph, you can still find joy in the face of all of that.
Yeah.
For me, is a story worth telling.
Absolutely.
You know, so I want them to know that this guy, in the face of insurmountable odds, in the face of many, many difficulties, he rose through all of that
Absolutely.
and lived a life worth celebrating, maybe. You know, so that's the legacy I want to leave, that yes, life throws a lot at you, but in spite of all of that, you can still lead a beautiful life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm getting like goosebumps. I'm like, whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Yeah.
You know, Daniel, like I said, I literally could talk to you all day. You know, I am a huge, huge fan. I really, really appreciate you being on the show, the time that you have taken.
Thank you.
I know that you have all these people that you know you have to beat them off of you. There is that. I know that. We're not ignorant to the fact that you have a huge, huge fan base. So I appreciate the time that you have spent with us. I hope you will come back and spend some more time with us.
Absolutely. I love talking with you.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
And guess what? You didn't even skip. You didn't even skip a question by sipping. So I love that you are here and you are very intentional. And I want to let you know that you have open doors. Anytime you're in town in Houston, Texas, please know that you can come sit on those green seats.
Thank you.
And we will feed you. Make sure your bellies are full. Because I always say, if your bellies are full, you're going to spill all the secrets. And I know that we probably could have touched on some more things, but I do want to be respectful for your time as well.
Thank you.
And until next time, this is not goodbye. We have Daniel Etim. He's here with us, and we will join you next time on Sipping with Tia. Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you around.
Soft music plays, she just a smile for me.
I am so excited. We have a very interesting Nollywood actor. He went from chemical engineering to what I would like to really call emotional chemistry. He basically went from being in a lab, probably being in a lab, to being on your TVs. We have none other than the method actor himself. He's a husband. He is a father. He's a very intentional actor. Probably one of the most rated intentional actors of our time. He went into Hollywood. Sorry.
That's fine.
I said Hollywood. So it's Nollywood.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You know you have multiple cameras, so you can just pick up where you left off.
Okay. So we have the none other than Nollywood. Nollywood, I call a method actor. Daniel Etim.
Hey!
You're on Sipping with Tia. How do you feel about that?
Hey, what?
I said you're on Sipping with Tia. How do you feel about that? I don't know how long that was.
That was very long.
It was.
You were just going on and on. 20 minutes.
Yeah.